10 days since I've returned from my month-long stay in Greece, all of May. And yeah, I'm just here in Barcelona on this rooftop, and there's this mariachi band practicing behind me. So grateful. But yeah, I just wanted to give a rundown of like my amazing day with the full moon yesterday. It was so cool. So first of all, what did I do? I started my day with green tea. I went to a cafe for green tea. Then I went to a second cafe to take like this mint tea blend with chamomile. And I had a croissant con jamón y queso y lechuga. And then, yeah, I went directly to the beach at like 12 p.m. in the afternoon. And this guy was like, whoa, hey, what's up? And I was like, skirt, and snubbed him. First of all, the day started with me sitting on the bench waiting for this cafe to open. And a guy from somewhere in Africa came and sat with me and had a speaker playing. I was lighting a cigarette. He's like, hey, how are you? Where are you from? He's like, you sleep in the street, right? And I was like, what? He was like, you're sleeping in the street? I was like, why would you say that? And he was like, because you have your things, you're sitting here on this bench. And I was like, I'm waiting for this cafe to open. We had this conversation in Spanish. Anyway, I was a little short with him. He started playing music and started being like, where are you from? I was like, please. He's like, no quiero hablar. And he was like, what? And I was like, no quiero hablar. He's like, did I do something wrong? And I was like, but it's muy temprano. Like I was not in the mood. And he came up like, what's up? I was like, please, honey, down a few notches. And please leave me in peace. And so this was a little short, but it's how I've been feeling about men lately. Honestly, I've just been like skirt, skirt, skirt. But then I go to the beach at 12 p.m. and this guy sold me a blanket about a week ago. And if I knew how to edit videos, that would have been a great time to be like, about a week ago. So, but I won't plug that in. I'm gonna post this raw. So he has locks, and he sold me this blanket, and then he came up to me after he sold me the blanket and asked me for a cigarette. This was last week sometime. And then yesterday, so he's like, hey, homie, amigo. And I was like, and I rolled my eyes like that. First of all, I was not wearing my glasses. My glasses broke recently. The lens popped out because I just threw them in the bag. And so yeah. But anyway, I didn't recognize him, and honestly, I was on my way to the toilet, to pee, and so, but yeah, I was being like a cranky girl. When I set up myself on the beach, and he came up to me, he was like, yo, he was so serious, and he was speaking Spanish. He was like, why'd you speak to me like that? I spoke to you the other day, and I thought we were cool, and then you just snubbed me like that. And he was like, that's not, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I literally didn't even recognize you. And he's like, and I was like, no, for real, I didn't even know that was you. I thought you were some random guy. But still, that's not cool if he was a random guy. But because he was like, hey, what's up? And I was like, who the fuck is this? And it was him, and I was being rude, and I felt so bad. And so I apologized, and I was like, to speak with me, I was like, we're cool. And I dapped him up, we chatted, and yeah, I felt like such an asshole. Anyway, so I became homies con mi hermanos de Senegal. Him and his 4 or 5 homies there hawking blankets and umbrellas on the beach. And so they were like, let me get free Jacqueline an umbrella, gratis, don't worry about it. And so they posted me up an umbrella, and I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And then I was like, wait a minute, because then they just started hanging out with me on my blanket under the umbrella. They were like, oh, let me get you an umbrella. And then they just started kicking it with me under the umbrella. But anyway, the cops were around. And so they had to hide one of their blankets with me. And they had to pretend they weren't selling things on the beach. They had to pretend they were hanging out on the beach, basically. And so, but actually we were. And I was sharing my cigarettes. So we were just rolling cigarettes together and chilling on the beach and having a little language exchange, because of course they speak French, they speak Spanish, and so we're communicating in Spanish. The one guy heard me and this girl from the Netherlands who literally came over and asked me to use my lighter 5 times. But I was like, anytime you need it, just come and ask. But she literally was like, oh, can I for each of her cigarettes? And so yeah, she was from the Netherlands, so we were speaking English, and he was like, wow, English is so cool. so then we started to do a little language exchange and like practice English and translate it into French, translate it into Spanish, and you know, his homie was there and like it was correcting both of us. And yeah, it was really fun. So yeah, I was on that beach for like 3 hours con mis hermanos de Senegal. It was super cute. It was actually adorable and I felt really grateful. And then it's so funny because I saw this one chocolate girl who I went up to her and complimented her. I was like, "You're so beautiful," and she was from Connecticut. But you know the experience with black girl when you like don't know your shit yet and you are hanging out with two white girls who like tolerate you or like barely like you. And I witnessed that happening. Like the one girl was just talking to the other girl the whole time, and the chocolate girl was chocolate girl. That's what I say here. But the black girl was like completely isolated, and so I went up to her and like spoke light into her and complimented her. And yeah, and I felt like I saw a version of myself for sure. And then I felt grateful that I had these like men from Senegal around me, like taking care of me, going to fetch me water and fruit, and like, you know, just being so kind and so respectful. And to be like my people, and they're like, no, like Jacqueline, we have to stick together. That's what they said to me. And he's like, you know, because he was like, they stick together, so we need to stick together. And I was like, damn, he's right. And yeah, so I saw her and I just was like, damn. And I went up to talk to her, and it's funny because the same way like her friends were like ignoring her, like while I was talking to her, she's like trying to like make buddy with them, and I'm like, yeah. Maybe she felt the energy because I wasn't giving them attention, but I was not giving them attention on purpose. So yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Such a nice experience, but I'm really grateful to be connecting to my people. Especially being in Spain and being in a completely different country. So it's really nice, and I feel more connected than ever before, more than I ever did in the United States, not gonna lie. And you know, it's crazy, I'll see black Americans and we will not even like make eyes together, but I'm looking dead at them like, and they're like, and then I'll have to be the one to go up and be like, hey, where are you guys from? And they're like, the States. And I'm like, I know, where are you from? And yeah, the other day I met this couple from Atlanta. I met some girls from California. Like, you know, lots of black women, or like, you know, black couples. And like, you know, I find myself always being the one going up to speak to them, but I'm gonna make sure that I do. And we definitely can tell that we are like both black Americans, right? Because first of all, we don't look African. Second of all, like, you know, there's a demeanor, and I can tell it from them by their demeanor and how they're dressed and all of these things, whether they're speaking English or not. But usually that's what I pick up on. It's like the English and the like pure American accents. And so yeah, I'm really grateful that I go out of my way to speak to them. And I don't know, it's just like changing my idea of like what this community looked like amongst, you know, our melanated people. Because yeah, it's like a lot of times the people that I meet who are like, you know, direct African descendants or African immigrants rather. And the guy yesterday, he was like, somos migrantes, and I was like, yeah, me too. They were like, I won't say this on camera, but yeah, they're like immediately off rip, like, hey, yo, what's up? And it's funny, like, you see other black Americans out in the wild in different countries, and we're like avoiding each other like the plague, and I don't get what's up with that. Like, I don't understand that. So anyway, yeah, so I hung out con los hombres, los chicos de Senegal, mis hermanos. Y después I went to an organic grocery store. I bought like this little pasta salad thing, pasta and like green salad with mozzarella, and I bought 2 packs of pineapple, about some kombucha, and I went to a different beach. And I was like, these are super unemployed activities, like extreme lazy girl. 2 beaches in one day is outrageous. The fact that I had like a afternoon beach and then an evening beach, and I was swimming at the evening beach, and I said my manifestations to the water, and I just left it all with Mama Water. Like, I just was like, I leave it all in the ocean. This is the sea. This is the Mediterranean, but yeah, it was amazing. And so I went alone. I originally was supposed to go with a friend, but I ended up going alone, and that worked out well because I met this man from Patagonia, Miguel. And so, yeah, I asked him to watch my things. I was like, hey, do you mind watching my things? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go in this room because this construction. Nice, so much better. I was like, I was just like, hey, would you mind to watch my things while I go swim? And he was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. And so he watches my things, and I guess I'm swimming for like close to 40 minutes or something like that. But I guess I swam quite far because I got out of the water, and you know, classic, like first of all, I'm topless. I'm wearing my string thong bikini. And yeah, I come out and I'm wet and I'm sexy, of course, and I don't have on my glasses. And so I'm like this on the beach, like, oh my god. I'm in the water all fine, and then I'm like, and then this Indian guy, this hawker, he's like, one of the guys, he tells, one of the agua coco guys, coco agua fresh cocoa, blah blah blah. He's like, you okay? You needing help? You looking for your friend? Everything okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm okay. I don't know. I was like, I'm looking for my stuff. Buscando por mis cosas. Y yeah, then I'm walking in the opposite direction because I'm like, did I swim down this way or that way? And then I see Miguel. I see Miguel on the other end of the beach, and he's like, he's like this, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, yeah. So anyway, that was hilarious, and it was just so funny to me. So yeah, I find him, and then I'm like, he's like, you forgot what I look like, and I was like, no, I don't. I wear glasses, I couldn't see. I didn't know I swam so far. And I sit on my blanket, and I'm like, you could join me if you want, but of course it's because I see he has maté. He has maté, he has his thermos, and I'm like, oh, come, join me. And then he sits with me, and 10 minutes pass, and we're talking, and I'm like, ¿puedes compartir mate conmigo? Like, because we're not drinking mate. And I feel like I told him after this, I was like, a lot of times, like, I will be around people from South America, and maybe they will think that I don't know anything about mate, so they will not offer. But in this case, he didn't offer because he said he was basically finished, and his water, he was like, my water had gotten really cold, so I didn't want to offer it to you because it wasn't hot anymore. But yeah, he went to a restaurant on the beach and got like more hot water. And yeah, so that was really nice. So it was a cool experience. And yeah, so we're drinking mate, and I have some pineapple, so we share my pineapple, and we're talking for a long time. And then eventually he gave me his t-shirt because I was like shivering after the water. It was freezing. The water was amazing. The beach was beautiful. And then what happened? So we're talking a long time. He's like, yeah, do you want to like go get a drink or something? And I'm like, yeah. Like, first of all, it's getting cold as hell on this beach. And yeah, so we went to this beer place that he knew about, and we're talking about everything under the sun. He's a Pisces. And yeah, that, oh, this is an unopened bottle, pack of beer. Nice, some Morts. So yeah, boom. So that happens. And then Yeah, we go to this brewery place and we take bravas. I take an Alhambra and he takes San Miguel, and we were drinking beer and we were talking, we were having fun. Yeah, and then he walks me to the metro and we're talking on the metro. He's like, "Oh, so what next?" And I was like, "We should go to bed. Like, we go home." Like, it was 12 a.m. It's almost 12 a.m. The metro ends at 12, and I was like, "Let's go." And so he takes me. We are getting on the same line, and I get off on my stop. He gets off with me, and it's like, "Oh, I can walk you." And he, walked me halfway, and then I walked myself the rest of the way, and then we hugged and said goodnight, and yeah. And then, yeah, it was cute. It was really cute. He's cute. And, yeah, he's adorable, actually. From Patagonia, we mostly talked about, like, where he's from and, like, the culture of Argentina and South America, and we mostly talked about that. We were mostly talking in Spanish, too. Towards the end of the night, he would, like, really be expressive in Spanish, and I'd be like, "English, please." Like, I'm Spanished out. I was on the beach all day with the men from Senegal, and they don't speak English at all. Our only common language is literally Spanish and my broken French, Sabes. And I'm hanging out with this guy, and I'm like, okay, like, once it got, like, it hit, like, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and he would be telling a story, and then at the end, I'd be like, "Please, in English." Like, "I'm sorry I didn't interrupt you and stop you to say, can you tell the story in English?" Now you have to retell the story in a different language, but, like, I was not listening. Like, I'm after a certain point, my ears are like, okay, I just can't, my processor is not working as well as it was at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So, yeah, but it was beautiful. Yesterday was a beautiful full moon day. Like, I was moving with, yeah, just, like, certainty, and I knew I wanted to get healthy snacks at the organic grocery store, and I just feel light. I feel my light body. I feel my physical body. I just feel... I'm so happy those men from Senegal were, like, really taking care of me on the beach. Like, they were really looking out for me. It was nice. And I was like, "Ciao, chicos, nos vemos. Cuídate." Like, And they were sweet. It was just a lovely afternoon. It was a great day, honestly. It's beautiful, beautiful full moon Wednesday. And I'm grateful. Like, I'm so grateful. And that was a great date. Like, to impromptu meet this guy on the beach and have, like, this amazing time. Like, talking and chatting and connecting. He's super cute. Miguel. Yeah. Anywho. You just yeah, bravas, beers, and beach. That's Barcelona for you. And yeah, he's moving to Japan this year. He's so interesting. He's been learning Japanese for the last 3 years. He told me he's experiencing anxiety in life because he's, like, actually accomplishing one of the biggest goals, like, the goal he's had in life, which was to live in Japan. He's getting anxious that it's not going to be what he thought it was going to be. And I'm like, "And are you also experiencing anxiety because after you accomplish this, you don't know what else you're going to do?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, you just have to take the next step. And the next step will just, like, unfold and show you a bucket of new possibilities. But we only can see the next thing. We can't see the next thing. You'll find the next thing once you do the next thing." And yeah, we just had amazing, just my Pisces moon and his Pisces sun, we were, like, in the field. We were deep in the fields on a full moon night. Like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yup. I'm happy to be back in Barcelona because I missed it while I was in Greece, but I miss Greece. I would love to go back this summer. Por las islas. Anywho, this is the end of my video. I'm in the storage closet right now, running away from the noise. And yeah, I'm gonna post this because I haven't posted a YouTube video in so long. Y ya está. Ciao. I need to sign out.